Job stacking is basically, it's mathematical. You're earning your one job. We help you land a second and a third job. Well, you just doubled your income.
Welcome back to FastBiz Talks. Today I'm joined by Rolf Haltza, owner of Job Stacking. Rolf coaches people on how to land and work 3 full-time jobs without burnout. His flagship promise is simple to understand and hard to ignore. Clients aim to triple their income. He takes an employee-centric view of employment and focuses on helping professionals make work serve their goals, not the other way around. Rolf, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was an excellent intro. Happy to be here. We basically just help you stack as many jobs as you can handle. It can be done by anybody, so it's not just for tech. So like, marketing, compliance, finance, different aspects of tech, anything related to that can stack jobs, but you need to want it. You need to kind of like be disillusioned with the world of employment. You need to kind of like have that hunger for like, I want more, but I realize that if I try to climb the ladder vertically, I might not get it. Anybody that can work remotely can stack jobs. And then, so it's just a matter of attitude.
So what you consider as those real-world risks in job stacking?
Whenever you see news online that some company caught workers working multiple jobs or whatever, it's usually because they were going at it blind. They didn't realize some of the risks, right? So let's say you want to have satisfactory performance. You want to keep your employers happy. You don't want to be having problems. At the end of the day, performance is king. And so it doesn't matter if you only have one job. If you don't perform, then you're going to lose that one job. Background checks can pose a risk if the person doesn't know how to handle them. There's a lot of opacity. We don't know what third-party data sets that they're using, especially if you are in the United States and you're a W-2. There's a lot of paperwork. If you take a number of basic precautions about freezing data in certain places and providing only verifiable information, background checks are usually, manageable. The other one is you need to have separate devices. You don't want to have one computer with information and work from 2 different employers. You want each employer to live in its own world, totally encapsulated, where they don't touch each other. You reduce the chances of being accused of like conflict of interest or stuff like that. It's like completely different devices, everything completely separate, even different bank accounts, right? Like don't receive direct deposit from 2 employers in the same bank. And so as long as you keep under the contribution limit, tax authorities are not contacting employers. There's no compliance issue. If you go over the contribution limit, that's where compliance issues may start happening, and that's when employers start getting contacted by tax authorities. Things could happen.
Hey, Rolf here. If you found the content of this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow and get the word out to more people about job stacking. Thanks.
Usually in business, when you want another party to provide their services exclusively to you, you have to buy them out. However, with an employment, that happens all the time. Employers just think like, hey, I'm going to pay you a salary, and that means that you can't work for anybody else. And that's not fair because of the office, because of the reality that we just had to be in the office to work. We can't be in 2 places at once. There was very little that we could do about it. But now with remote work, really, there's no reason to follow those claims. And regarding IPs and like NDA and like conflict of interest, I always say that I understand employers being concerned about it. But at the same time, if you're a low-level employee, you have no power of purchase, no power, no decision power. It's unfair that an employer limits your ability to do business with somebody else. Providing services to 2 competitors does not mean that immediately there's a conflict of interest. I want to say that nobody thinks about this from Microsoft, for instance, or Google, right? If 2 companies use Gmail, as their email provider, they're not thinking like, oh, Google, conflict of interest, right? Sorry, you can only work for me. That doesn't happen. Once you go past 3 jobs, you need to start thinking about subcontracting some of them or something related to the jobs, because between meetings and the things that you actually have to do, you burn out very quickly. Years ago, my peak had been 7 jobs by myself. More recently, I went up to 11 jobs, but basically all of them were subcontracted, right? So I basically had a network of people doing the, working the jobs for me, performing the tasks. And all I did was kind of like manage it, show up to meetings, get information, provide information, both ways, and manage the job. One person, up to 3 jobs, easy, like it's easy to handle. Going past 3 jobs, you need a strategy to subcontract them out. I always explain to my students, employers, they're happy to receive as much productivity as you give them. But in reality, most employers are happy with a certain level of productivity. Like there's a certain level of work a certain amount of work that you have to do so that they're happy. It's not just about doing the minimum where you're getting in trouble, right? Let's figure out where your employer is happy, but you're not overperforming. You're not being overproductive. You're hitting that equilibrium right point. First step is let's figure out what that floor of productivity is. Once we have it, then it's a matter of like, does it make sense to add 2 more jobs, 3 more jobs? Like, let's say that you can work 2 or 3. And then there's other things like how to handle conflicts, right? Like how to be confident on being 2 meetings at once so that you're not freaking out. It's very important that you feel confident in landing new jobs in case you need to substitute one of the ones that you already have. You come in, we help you land the second job, you land the second job, but then the second job sucks. There's no way to handle it, right? Like it's not compatible with the stack. We want to get rid of those jobs. We don't want to force things. And then it's important to bring another one. So like how to basically that engine, I call it always be applying, that engine of landing new jobs, that's key as well.
All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.